I think that to me, support can look a ton of different ways. But I understand it always feels the same once you actually feel like you're supported. And I think one of the main ways to foster support is to really kind of get your I hate to be like taboo about it, but create your creative village, and so to speak, for lack of other better terms to say that. But like, be around other creatives and have these relationships and foster these friendships with different people, because when you do that, you not only are building friendships, but you're building opportunities to collaborate and combine your talents with other people in the process. I think that for me, one of the biggest and most important things I've done is surround myself with other creative people who maybe they share the same mode of creativity that I do. But I think the biggest flex is when you're around people who don't share the same creative mode that you do, because that fosters the environment that you may need to be able to collaborate with someone or learn more about maybe something else and figure another way that you can expand yourself. Having creative friends and being around other creative people is helpful from a creative standpoint for yourself, but it's also helpful to give you more inspiration. I know that sometimes when we're creating, it can feel like I don't want to be around too many different people. And in the words of Erica Badu, I'm gonna always say this: I'm sensitive about my stuff. So I don't want to be around you know what I mean? Everybody may not get it, everybody may not appreciate it. And then sometimes you don't want, it's like a lot of intellectual property goes into your creativity. And that's always going to be the case. But I feel like, so some people may be sensitive about sharing and cultivating and joining different forces with other creatives. However, I feel like it's so important to make sure that you are just on point. I'm more of a real team player person. I really love to collaborate. I absolutely love working as a team. Now, I can work as an individual. So I feel like even with that information of like, you should have a creative community that you're a part of or have some good creative friends around you at some point in the game. I think that that's important, but it's also important to be able to grind and do the work necessary when you're burning the midnight oil and you're figuring it out on your own by yourself. That's also important too. So I feel like having a balance, but I feel like having a balance is necessary as a creative. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel when I'm not necessarily grounded in some sort of balance, like, you can have a lot of different things going on. You can have a lot of craziness in your day to day. Some stuff is in your control. Some stuff is way out of your control, way past your jurisdiction. And it's just like you can feel like you're drowning. That's normal. That's normal. Unfortunately, it's for every now and again, especially for a creative. Um, I know that one of my creative toxic traits is procrastination. Like, here we're going to be very real. We're going to be transparent. A toxic trait is procrastination. I do. And then it's like, because I have created well under that type of pressure, but then you get so stressed out. And it's just like, okay, after you meet the deadline with 2 minutes to spare, you're like, okay, I've done it. I've done it again. I've done it again, folks. We've got it accomplished. But it's like, oh my God, I'm so drained. And you just feel so overwhelmed. And it's like, it's a lot. Like I said, it's toxic. And it's not even necessarily toxic on other people. It's toxic self-care. Or it's a lack thereof. It's a lack of self-care, which is the true problem. So I think that finding the balance that you definitely need. That was a random creative rant. So yeah, it's always a random, like, I don't know. It's always a balancing act. It's an ebb and flow of creativity. Having people around you that can help ground you, help realize when you are floating and you are just out here dangling. You don't even know what's going on, because you're in it. Because a lot of times when we're in the creative mode, we're in it. We're in it. We don't really, I don't know, we don't really see the world outside of what it is that we're creating in that moment and at that time. So I think that it's important to have that support. It can be hard. Now, me saying like find these things, you could be in a situation where, especially in the times of this Panasonic, you might be feeling like you can't win for losing, in the words of, like, our old grandmas and grandpas and aunties and all that stuff. Can't win for losing because you go out, you can't go out, or if you go out, you don't know what's going on, and it's like you don't necessarily feel safe to go out and all those different things. It's so many different things, especially now, that are acting against building community. However, I'm going to share a few different ways that have been helpful to me, but this is certainly this is not Bible. This is not law at all. It's just some things that I found to help build creative communities and build friendships where, it's like you're fed from a level of having the interaction and having a friend at all. And then not only being fed from that standpoint, but also being being able to be challenged and have have a collaborative back and forth and have collaborative dialogue and be able to actually build something that not only you but maybe your friend, both of you guys are proud of and both of you guys cherish and nurture to be something big or something small, whatever it is, some type of creative outlet. um, so one thing that I have learned, especially in these last couple of years for myself, I have been building up my creative community. I've been building that up virtually for a while now. And I know that sounds really like kind of cheesy. That sounds like a little bit like, what are you talking about? A little weird. And I just stick with me on this. So I have found different screenwriting groups, writing groups, and a lot of people have really come forward, especially in the times of this Panera Bread, to be doing that. So a lot of people have been coming together and providing those platforms to do a Zoom meeting or to start a group meet. I hate group meets, but to start a group meet and have something where everybody can share and be as collaborative as they want it to be or didn't want to be. Places where like places where it would give you an assignment to be able to do that. You can have online classes where you can do some partner work with some of your classmates and figure out how to hone in on whatever your craft is. Now, for me, that mode was writing, but I'm pretty sure that for a lot of different creative modes, you just have to get a little bit creative. Get a little creative with your with the way that you're searching for these different things.